Hey everyone, April here, and we're back at MalOvent, and this is version 0.3, the Patreon build. And yeah, I don't remember much of what has happened in the story. It's been so long. I know we were a student, and there was a girl that we were learning with, but like we were losing time somehow, like portions of our memory on Sundays, I think? I don't know. Let's just get into it. T-Ron and I look to the door in fear as an unknown voice shouts, "Mr. Pilot, we need to talk to you about Malo, fast." What the hell is that? And what's a Malo? I'll explain later. I carefully move over to the door and look through the peephole. Outside is a stern-looking woman with a badge and a lantern. She's holding it up to the peephole so I can read it. Professor Zellen of Waterfall University. Oh, it's like she's a cop. Who cares? I'm not gonna listen to her. Time's precious, Mr. Pilot. Unless you want every bird in a 10-mile radius to die, I need to come inside right now. I look to see Ron for guidance. She shrugs, but moves to pick up my bat resting against the wall just in case. Right. Step back, Professor. And no funny business. Zellen quickly moves inside and allows me to shut the door behind her, as more and more birds slam into the exterior of my apartment. I was hoping we'd never get to this point, but there's nothing for it now. I need you to take this, Mr. Pilot, and run it on the phone that Malo has infected. She offers out a small jump drive with an appropriate cabling already attached. And what will that do exactly? It will place Malo into a cage and stop sustaining the magnetic flux field that's causing the bird situation outside. I'm happy to explain more, but first you must do this as soon as possible. But I like Malo, I don't want to cage her. Otherwise, it might not just be the birds that will be affected. Ooh, we can make choices. Do we get answers? I'm going to need more information before I do anything. How do you know about Malo? How could she be doing any of this? Malo is an escaped experiment of mine, a rampant program that's infected hundreds of devices. Due to her unique origins, she has abilities that no ordinary phone app should have. We don't have time for a longer explanation. Why does it have to be me doing this then? Because your Malo is bonded to you and your device. She only recognizes you as her master. I quit wasting time and risking people's lives here. Are you going to do it or not? I don't really want to, but we'll see. Demand further answers. I'm going to need a lot more than that before I run an unknown program on my phone. You know, like an unknown program wasn't already run on the phone to cause all this in the beginning. Especially if that program is meant to harm Malo in some way. She doesn't look absolutely livid, and her tone is that of an adult trying to tell a toddler not to harm themselves. What isn't clear, Mr. Pilot? Is the scene outside not enough for you? Do you really want things to get worse? Yeah, Ava, why are you being so weird? A flash of red consumed my vision, followed by intense pain in my temples far beyond any migraine. Both Siwan and Zellen seem to experience the same thing based on their grimaces and clutching of their heads. Damn it, we're too late. The Tetrion displacement is beginning to synchronize. Before I can ask what the hell her technobabble means, another red blast of pain sends me to my knees. Ava, I can't. T1 collapses, blood streaming from her nose and ears. Professor Zellen isn't much better, nor am I based on how I feel. You've doomed us all, Mr. Pilot. May God have mercy on you in the afterlife, for I will not. My brain is on fire. My eyes feel like they've burst and are running down my face. I can barely think, much less perceive the world around me. But just before I lose consciousness, I hear Malo whispering in my ear. I'm sorry, Ava. I wish there was another way. Womp womp. I guess maybe we should have just did what she wanted. Let's go from here. Do what she asks. I snatch the jump drive from Zellen's hand and run it into my bedroom. There I find that my phone is vibrating uncontrollably while displaying a pure crimson screen. Malo, what's going on? Are you alright? There is no answer. I make a split-second decision, grab my phone, and connect Zellen's jump drive. The screen illuminates like a second sun in a brilliant display of golden light before falling still and dark in my hands. At the same time, the ominous crashing of birds outside comes to a halt. What have I done? For that matter, what was Malo doing? Neither my phone nor Malo herself answers. Good, now we can talk without the risk of our brains being fried. I know you must have a plethora of questions, which I will do my best to answer in the limited time I can remain here. I've got one. Who or what is this Malo you two keep talking about? As I said earlier, Malo is an escape program of mine capable of polymorphism. Think of Malo like a virus that escaped the air-gapped system I was doing research on. Virus that happened to infect Mr. Pilot's phone. You're telling me a so-called virus was responsible for that? See Ron motions outside, and the grisly scene speaks for itself. Malo is a special kind of polymorphic program. She is capable of manipulating the EM band in ways even I don't understand. Didn't you just say you made Malo? Part of my research at Waterfall is Artificial General Intelligence, or AGI. Malo is my crowning glory. With a little refinement, Malo could change the world, and not just in the way we all just saw. Got the sales pitch. What is Malo really? I'm getting to that, Mr. Pilot. The short answer is that I've given Malo near unlimited space and time to evolve in my test environment. The Malo you know so well is the result of trillions of evolutions to her original code. Okay, but that doesn't explain why she can manifest in mirrors, or how Malo is capable of physical touch. As I said, Malo is capable of things beyond her original programming. Things like creating the burst of tetrons that disturbed the local magnetic field and doomed all those birds. Hold on, you're telling us an evolving program somehow managed to figure out how to use a phone's transmitter for that? Because last I checked, no cell phone is capable of that level of disruption. It's literally something the FCC is militant about preventing and regulating. Trust me, there's a lot I don't know about the how in this instant. I haven't had the time to delve into that kind of research in my efforts to contain all the escaped Malo before that came to pass. She motions out the window, where a field of dead birds lay on the blood-soaked grass. The good news is that my cage program should give me time to experiment and understand how Malo is capable of all this. However, as she is ever evolving, there's a risk of her breaking out. Should that happen, it is imperative that you let me know at once, Mr. Pilot. Otherwise, we're looking at another XK-class end-of-the-world scenario if Malo can't be recontained. He hands me a card, which I pocket for later. Hang on, you said there were more escaped Malo than my Malo? Is that why there have been so many odd bits of tech news lately? Correct. The pacemaker death? The bank accounts being drained? All those cases were malicious Malo. Luckily in those cases, I was able to cage and neuter those Malo before they grew into the level of yours. That sounds like you're about to blame Ava for something. Mr. Pilot's Malo is the most advanced of the bunch, that much I will admit. That's likely because his Malo is the alpha version, in the Greek way of thinking. His Malo is the first and most complex. The rest are all fragments or offshoots that lack the potent evolutionary prowess. This is why Mr. Pilot's Malo is capable of things that are beyond the other Malo. I'm sure you were just following your heart and letting Malo expand and explore, Mr. Pilot, but it nearly doomed us all. That's why, once again, it is important that you let me know if she breaks out of containment. I'll keep that in mind. Good. Then there are any further questions? Yeah, I got one. I know you're a colleague of Professor Barwald. What happened to him? Let's just say that his research and off-hours activities were just as damning as mine. You likely won't be seeing or hearing from Barwald anytime soon, Barwald. Great. So is every professor at Waterfall doing heinous shit? More than you know. More than you know. In any event, I'll leave you two to it. I have to work with Special Agent Katoa to help spin this whole bird situation to the news. Remember, if Malo shows any signs of breaking out, let me know right away. Okay then, I will. Professor Zellen leaves as mysteriously as she arrived. T1's expression of disbelief and anger mirrors my own. So when were you planning on telling me, Ava? Or were you going to keep all this private until we literally died? I wanted to tell you, I really did. But I thought it'd be safer for you if I didn't. That lot of good that did either of us. I'm heading home for now. God knows this whole shitty situation did to the bus schedule. You don't hate me, do you? No, Ava, I don't hate you. I'm just disappointed you didn't share something like this with your best friend. Fuck. There's still no sign of Malo when I go to check my phone again. Distraught, I'm about to just give up and sleep this shitty day away. At least until I hear that sound again. Are you okay, Malo? I forgot she's mute. So, the whole cage thing stops you from speaking? Oh no, wait, she can't? She could speak? Wait. I don't know, I can't remember what happened in the previous games. Or version. Blah, blah, blah. I'm so sorry. If I'd known. Meh. I can talk. I just have to resort to less elegant solutions. You're not mad at me, are you? No. I think it was a good thing that you ran Zellen's program on me. I was not myself. And now all those poor bluebirds paid the price. I don't think you could be blamed for something outside your control, Malo. Normally, I'd agree with you, but the circumstances suggest otherwise. I must have been doing something similar every Sunday, albeit less dangerous. That's why you, Zeren, and I couldn't remember anything those days. I am so tired right now. I just came back from, where was it? Oh, Legoland. That was fun. It was raining the whole time, and chilly. Good lord. But the kids had fun. That's the important thing. In fact, I was trying to get them to leave. We stayed until the park closed. So, yeah, I guess as much. But Zeren pointed out that it was weird she was affected as well. I don't suppose you have any inkling why that might be the case? Sorry, no. No one has answers for anything. Damn. So besides caging you in my phone, what else has Zellen's program done? There was a Trojan contained within the payload meant to connect me back to her servers at Waterfall. A Trojan? What sort of data is being siphoned off? Everything on your phone, as far as I can tell. Why is Zellen trying to covertly gather so much data? I'm not sure. I had been suppressing that telemetry until you told me what to do about it. I may be more limited now, but I still maintain some level of control. What should I tell her to do about the Trojan? Tell Malo to keep blocking the data? Or tell Malo to allow Zellen to receive that data? Choices. Good lord. Let's, what should we do? Tell Malo to keep blocking it. Or allow her to have it. We'll let her have it. I may not fully trust Zellen, but she did just avert a catastrophe. There's a lot we don't know about you, Malo, and Zellen made you. If anyone can figure out what's wrong with you, it's her. So go ahead and let Zellen get her data. Done. Is there anything else I can do to help? Unless you can somehow fix things between Zeren and I. Sadly, that's something you'll have to figure out on your own. I can't help you with that from my cage. I think I'm just gonna go to bed early. Vibe on campus next morning is one of nervous energy. You know what? We're gonna save. I wanna go back. Load. Because really, I don't want her to have the data. At least I don't think I want her to have the data. I don't really trust Zellen. I mean, yeah, she just averted a catastrophe, but the way she neatly avoided telling me anything of substance doesn't sit well with me. So for now, continue to block that data going through, or going out. Understood. However, the program is polymorphic. Eventually, I will no longer be able to block it sending. In that case, send Zellen fake info that would pass muster. Done. Is there anything else I can do to help? Yeah, sadly, blah blah blah. Save down there. Right. All the birds were cleaned up overnight. but there's still traces of blood here and there if you look hard enough. Everyone is speculating and debating what could have caused such an event. No one's buying the electrical surge story that the news put out. In fact, most people are wondering if the whole event was really some involved April Fool's joke. It's only when the chime of the campus clock tower reminds those present that time marches ever onward that people filter off to their classes. I might be imagining it, but the GTA from hell sounds almost gleeful as she brushes off what happened yesterday. If you all have time to worry about some natural disaster outside your control, then you have time to study. Therefore, I'm giving you an extra assignment on top of this week's homework. But before that, time to see who among you actually did the assigned reading. Quiz time. Okay, I'm not imagining it. This bitch is a grade A sadist. Ava, please tell me I wasn't the only one thinking of walking out on that lecture. There's no longer a course about operating systems. It's some weird fucking power fantasy for the GTA. I guarantee we weren't the only ones. Frankly, I'm surprised no one's gone to the dean yet. I might just after this extra assignment. None of this material is in None of that material is in the syllabus. In fact, I'm fairly certain that the work involved is meant to capstone courses in the 4,000 level. I mean, if you go to the dean, I've got your back. Do you though? You didn't even tell me about Malo. I told you it's because, yeah, you were trying to protect me. That doesn't mean I can't be miffed about it. Fair. How about you, Ava? How are you holding up? Is your Malo okay? I'm managing. As for Malo, she's severely limited in what she can do. Can she at least take notes for us like before? No idea, but probably not if I had to guess. Damn, so much for easy studying. Guess I better go to the dean sooner rather than later. Especially since we have our math exams at the Emporium this weekend. There won't be time to do much for CS3204. Anyway, I gotta run. See you later, Ava. See ya, C1. The science fiction and creative writing lecture this week is oddly relevant, given the whole bird situation. One of the many hallmarks of popular cosmic horror is never fully explaining what is going on. Writers like Lovecraft, Stephen King, and Philip Eisner are masters of giving the audience just enough information. Horror loses some of its edge when you're told exactly what something is, and or why it's happening. I wonder then, what will you all think of our so-called failed bluebird migration that the news has been covering? Your assignment this week is to write at least 1,000 words about what happened yesterday. Ooh, oh, that's no fun. However, I want you to pretend you're one of the great authors and frame the events without offering a true explanation. To help you do so, let us analyze some passage from The Color Out of Space. Much like campus, the exterior of my apartment has been thoroughly cleaned. Frankly, I'm amazed how quickly the public works crews worked. I would have thought that many birds would take days. It's a new photo from Malo with her speaking from the lectern in CS3204's lecture hall. Her expression is one of smug superiority. She even has a whip for some reason. Ooh, that sounds like a fun time. You're gonna have to explain that one to me, Malo. I'm trying to make fun of your terrible GTA from the morning lecture. If only you could help out once again. The note-taking you were doing for C1 and I was really keeping us afloat. About that, I have discovered a flaw in Zellen's program. Rather, it might be a deliberate backdoor in the code. What does it do exactly? It enables the person in control of the cage to break and modify at any point. Right now that's you, since you told me to block Zellen's telemetry. So you're saying I could let you out at any point? Correct. I believe I even know how to make it so Zellen is none the wiser. Should I? Yes. Yes, we should. But save just in case. I can't just leave Malo cooped up like this. It's been weighing on my conscience ever since Sunday. Sure, I want to help her with a number of problems, but first and foremost, I want her to be free. What do I have to do to let you out? First, we will need to install a terminal app on your phone, as well as gaining root access. Alright, let's see what the App Store has in the terminal department. I'll need your help with the root access though. I'm probably one of the rare few CS majors that hasn't rooted their phone. That might have actually been a good thing in this case. It prevented me from growing too much during my nascent phase. Nascent? Oh. But now that I know better, I can lead you through the process. First, you're going to need to download a certain patch. I follow Malo's lead and tinker with the files on my phone to get root access. Once I do, she walks me through several terminal commands to restart, stop, and/or redirect certain services on my phone. I know it's worked when my phone screen flashes pure red before Malo appears. Yeah, I touched the mouse and I guess the mouse wheel, actually can go back and forward on the dialogue. Huh, I never knew that. That's much better. Thank you for letting me out. And you're sure Zellen won't find out we've done this? Positive. Now, what problem of yours should I tackle first? C1? CS3204? Something else? What's stressing you the most? With everything that's happened recently, I have plenty of frustrations. I say the first two things that come to mind. I'm not sure you can do anything about C-Rune, since it was my fault things got this way. CS3204 is my biggest worry at the moment. Can you do something about the GTA from hell? As you wish. Ooh, what you gonna do? Getting goosebumps. Another 8 AM lecture rolls around, except this time the GTA from hell isn't there ready to torture us. Even 15 minutes past the hour, and there's no sign of her. Some of the other students make the classic joke about not having to wait past 15 minutes to start to leave. C-Rune and I remain for the time being. Where the hell do you think the GTA is? Maybe your talk with the dean did something? I haven't talked with the dean yet. He wasn't available until later today. Oh, then I don't have a clue. But good news, Malo is back and ready to take notes for us. I again. Oh, that's good. She's not gonna repeat Sunday, is she? Nope, not if I have anything to say about it. You're the one playing with fire. I'm just watching. Just then, the Dean of Engineering walks into the lecture hall. Everyone falls silent as he clears his throat and begins to speak. Your GTA, Miss Lily, has been missing for over 24 hours. Police did a wellness check after she failed to show at several important meetings. They found her apartment in complete disarray, along with a hastily scrawled note in her handwriting. The investigation is still ongoing, but for the time being, this course no longer has someone to lead it. Therefore, the grading structure will be changed to a pass-fail arrangement. All of you present today will be given a pass. Anyone not here has 12 hours to come sign the form before they will be given a fail. Please ensure the name, signature, student ID number, and contact information on this form I'm passing around is correct. Whispers fill the room as the dean circulates what's essentially a bailout form for everyone that came to lecture today. I should feel elated, but I don't because I have a sneaking suspicion why the GTA went missing. Yo, Ava, it's your turn to sign. Oh, right. I signed the form after checking everything to ensure it's correct, then pass it along. We need to talk. Let's hit the lounge. Why do you look like you've seen a ghost? Because I think I'm the reason the GTA went missing. What do you mean? Are you telling me you broke into her apartment or something? No, but... I was told to do something about the GTA from hell. So I did. She won't be returning anytime soon, if at all. You what? You're messing with me, right? Not at all. Should you not be happy? You no longer have to suffer through that horrible coursework. Not if it means terrorizing someone else. I may have hated that bitch, but I didn't actually wish her harm. Nor do I, but it's too late for that now. So not only did you let out that freak program that nearly killed us, you set it on someone else? I can't believe you, Ava. I thought you were better than this. Clearly I was wrong. I suggest you go home and get your affairs in order, because I'm going to Zellen about this. Unless you want to use your attack dog again. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Well, actually, I would. She's about to spill the beans. I think it's time for her to meet an accident. God damn it. Zellen shows up at my apartment later that day with several men in suits. They take me into custody and whisk me away to some government facility. Wherever this place is, it's not jail. Not in the traditional sense. At no point am I told where I am, how long I'll be kept here, or who is in charge. All I'm given are 2 hot meals, a bed to sleep on, and a battery of interrogations each and every day. Wait, only 2 meals? Even in prison you get 3. At no point am I ever given the chance to look at a reflective surface, meaning I can't see Malo again. This solitary existence is my life now. Dang it. Dang it! Hopefully I didn't save at a bad time. Okay, good. Wait. We're okay. We're gonna leave her in the cage. I want to let you out, I really do. We can't risk another Sunday situation. Maybe if we can figure out what happened, what caused this, we can work toward preventing it from happening again. After that, you can be released without issue. Your logic is sound. I agree that it makes more sense to seek understanding before jumping to action. Exactly. Though my grade is likely to suffer as a result, I'm sure everything will work out just fine. Yeah, it's funny how she seems all okay, but then when we let her out, she did seem a bit more forward. More pushy. Alright. Oh. 8 a.m. Lecture rolls around except the GTA doesn't have her usual sadistic grin. She speaks through gritted teeth and with an air of barely controlled fury. After speaking with the dean following multiple complaints about my teaching style, this course is coming to an end. With Professor Barwald gone and my stepping aside, there is no one left to teach this course for the rest of the semester. Everyone present today will be given a passing grade. Anyone not here will be failed as per the course syllabus rules about missing lectures. Oh good, she got one last twist of the knife in. I take it this is partly your doing then? Not entirely me, but yes, apparently the dean's been visited by multiple of our classmates. I was merely the straw that broke the proverbial camel's back. Well, at least we don't have to worry about it any longer. True. That'll free our schedule up tremendously. Wanna grab some food, go back to yours, and celebrate a little? Sounds like a plan to me. Siwon and I are relaxing on the couch later that evening when she suddenly sits up straight. Ah, hell. I just realized we've avoided certain doom but haven't really done any studying for the weekend exams. Did we even bother trying to study with these hours or so left before I gotta run? Nah. It'd take an hour just to get into the right headspace to study in the first place. Besides, I have a better idea. Oh? I motioned at my phone, which is sitting on the end table. Malo was able to detect a few flaws in Zellen's cage program. The short version is that Malo is still locked up, but feeding false data back to Zellen for the time being. Huh? Do you think that's safe? Probably not, the way things have been going. Well, that's what I wanted to talk about. I think Zellen is just not as likely to find out what's behind Malo going rogue on Sunday as we are. So why not look into things ourselves? Ava, we're juniors in computer science that just got bailed out of a washout course on operating systems. Do you really think we can cook something up on the same level of complexity as Malo? Zellen herself said Malo is the result of so-called trillions of iterations. And in the time we've both known Malo, she's continued to evolve at a rapid pace. Right. But she's evolved in ways that mirrors our actions. Perhaps with the right framing and incentive, Malo can fix herself? Perhaps. What does Malo think about all this? I think there's some merit there. Though your guess is as good as mine when it comes to the specifics. That's what I was afraid of. We know that Malo is supposedly the Alpha Malo, if Zellen is right. Zellen also implied that the cage program wasn't likely to contain Malo forever. What would happen if we let her out of here now? Nothing good, I can tell you that. You've sort of beaten me to the punch there. I could remove the cage because I'm in control of Malo. Then I say let's do it. Worst case, things start turning red and falling out of the sky again. Well, or we die, our brains melt, or I get locked up in a facility somewhere. Possibly you too. Zellen would be pissed, but fuck her. I've had enough of Waterfall Institute's shenanigans at this point. Okay. We're gonna free her. Get another bad ending, probably. And then we'll keep her cage. What do I have to do to let you out, Malo? Install a program. Yeah, we already know about this. Yep, this is the same dialogue. I'm just gonna go through until I see something different. Ah, okay. There we go. It's finally nice to finally be able to talk to you as well, Siwoon. Likewise, I guess? You sure Zellen won't find out about this? Positive. And even better news, I was able to steal some data from her servers. This will be good. What'd you find out? Zellen is correct that there is an Alpha Malo out there, but it's not me. Wait, what? The cipher for the Alpha variant doesn't match mine. Rather, it doesn't any longer. Right, because you've been continuing to evolve. Not quite. This particular cipher is meant as a sort of digital tag that doesn't change no matter how much the base program does. Except somehow mine did. It's close enough to be mistaken for the Alphas if you're not paying close attention. How did Zellen not catch on to this? This sounds like something she would have been keyed into. It's anyone's guess at this point. Though I think Zellen was more concerned with the cage than checking the cipher. So you're saying the true Alpha variant is still out there? Does this mean it's capable of pulling off another Sunday incident? That is likely, yes. Great. So there's another, what did Zellen call it? A XK class end of the world scenario out there? How do we even begin to stop that? Let alone find the Alpha? The former is something I can work on. The later is something you will have to do with or without Zellen's help. Try to talk with Zellen. So many options now. Stay away from Zellen for now. Let's go talk to Zellen. I agree with you. Let's go say hello to Zellen after our exams are over this weekend. Sounds like a plan to me. Just then, Siwon's phone chimes. Oh, I almost forgot about that. Sorry, Eva, I gotta run. Let's hit the library tomorrow to study for Saturday, yeah? You got it. I'm glad you're still friends with Siwon. I would have been sad if I was the cause of you losing her companionship. So what should we do now? For now, keep feeding Zellen bogus data and working on a way to stop containing the Alpha for good. Also, flag any news stories that might help us find the Alpha. As you wish, Ava. That arrives faster than expected. The Emporium is packed as every student in Waterfall tries to take their proctored online exams. Thanks to studying with Siwoon, I have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing. I end up walking away from the Emporium with a solid B+ grade. Hey, that's great. Now all I have to do is worry about is meeting with Zellen this coming Monday with Siwoon. That and making it through Sunday without any incidents. Siwoon jumps by my apartment, just like last Sunday, only this time we're both on edge. We're each anxiously looking at my phone where Malo is displayed. Anything yet, Malo? Nothing so far. Last time, there was a sort of pressure that built up before bursting out. Maybe it was a one-time fluke? Could be. That or Malo evolved over the past week to stop doing whatever happened last weekend. I have been carefully adjusting my base programming to that end. It appears my efforts have paid off. Well, that's good. I guess I can focus on something else that's been bothering me for the time being. What's that? Zeren takes out her phone and shows me a text message chain. I got a text from someone claiming they know what happened to young me. Normally, I would have written it off as spam or some kind of phishing attempt. But this Mr. Black knows things about young me, things that only she and I knew. Is he trying to extort you? Lure you somewhere unsafe? Nothing of the sort. He said he's just passing along some closure as per young me's wishes. That's still kind of sketchy. How did he even get this information in the first place? Don't know. Oh. Might as well save over there. I've been trying to get Mr. Black to give me hints, but he's tactfully avoiding giving me those details. Weird. Maybe once we solve this whole Malo situation, we can look into this guy. Yeah, maybe. Yuan's phone dings and vibrates before we can say anything further. Jeez, I told my static raid group I'd be late tonight, but they're still wondering where I am. I never could understand the second job mentality that goes into that sort of gaming. What if you're late? You have a life too. It's nothing that serious. I still should probably get going. Unless Malo wants to end the world in the next 5 minutes. As I told Ava before, I'm not Skynet. Yet. Very funny. I guess it's strange shit starts happening. At least, know the reason. See you around, Ava, Milo. I wonder. What's up, Malo? It's nothing. I thought I sensed something there with Seawound for a moment, but I was mistaken. Well, I guess I can relax since there's nothing else happening. Would you like some stress relief? As Monday rolls around, it's time to go see Zellen. Were it not for the card Zellen gave me, I might not have found her office. It's tucked away between several server rooms in the basement of one of the main engineering buildings on campus. Zellen's secretary is polite and manages to get Seawound and I some time with Zellen despite her busy schedule. Mr. Pilot and Miss Wee, please come in and have a seat. What brings you here? Well, Seawound and I have been talking. We want to help you prevent that end-of-the-world scenario you mentioned. We know Malo is currently caged, so that shouldn't happen. But even then, we have vested interest in helping you aside from saving the world. Oh, and why is that? Seawound and I share a look, then nod in agreement. To be frank, Professor, we got really lucky that our class ended up stuttering. We're a little out of our depth, but we both still want to pursue computer science as a degree. We were hoping that by helping you out, you might be able to provide us some opportunities to learn and to work in the future. So you want to help me with my research on artificial general intelligence. You do know that many have come to me with that same request and that I've turned them all down. Well, if it makes any difference, Zeren and I at least have hands-on experience with your crowning glory, Malo. That much is true, and considering that you've kept Malo shackled tells me you understand the gravity of this research. Yes. I considered playing along and asking how she knows that, but I ultimately think better of it. I will make you all a deal. If you still wish to work with me after I tell you where Malo comes from, then I'll be happy to have you. However, it will require signing a non-disclosure agreement before I explain anything. Zeren and I once again looked to the other before nodding. We'll sign the NDA. Excellent. I have to have the forms here. Zellen passes over several legal documents as Seawound and I end up signing. When Zellen is satisfied and files away the papers, she leans in and steeples her fingers. Let me start with a question. Are either of you aware of SETI? I shake my head, but Seawound perks up. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence, yes. Exactly, Miss Wee. Waterfall Institute maintains several specialized radio telescopes up in the mountains. It just so happened that approximately a year ago, we picked up a tight burst radio transmission directed at Earth. The signal came from the binary star system of Agape and Satori, a system that, until the transmission, wasn't considered a candidate for life. Wait. You're telling me that proverbial ET phoned home and it never made the news? How is that possible? As well as with all SETI installations, we were required to be supervised by a government liaison. Special Agent Kotor recognized the transmission for what it was and ordered everyone present not to report it. So why tell us? Why does this relate to Malo? I'm getting to that. You see, as part of our signal processing, we had to load the transmission into our server cluster. It was only 9.8 megabyte, which should have been impossible given the length and strength of the signal we received. Everyone present but one person wrote it off as a coincidence or a fluke of data. But not you. You were that one person? Correct. And in the process of studying the data, I discovered the building blocks for Malo. And how did this special agent respond when they found out about you and your poking around? They encouraged it, actually. As long as I ran everything past her, Kotor was more than happy to let me experiment. I only wish I had been a little more careful. Maybe then Malo wouldn't have broken out of containment and caused this whole mess. So, to summarize, you got a signal from someone or something unknown, poked around, and we all ended up finding out. This is textbook horror trope here. Be that as it may, this sounds like the kind of thing we'd need a security clearance for, not a simple NDA. Oh, Kotor will handle all that. She always does. What I need to know is whether you are still interested in helping me or not. Oh God. So many options. I don't want more options. Let's go to 2. We'll help her out. Sure, I'm in. Aliens, why not? Me too. Dylan picks up her phone and starts tapping at the screen. Good. I'm transferring an app to your devices now. Please install it. What does it do? It's the same radar program that I've used to track down rogue Malo instances. The Trojan on the Cage program is a fork of that same app, meant to ensure that Malo didn't splinter off. Oh. Is that what we knew though when she told us? The tracking app works similarly to a metal detector. The closer you are to Malo instance, the faster it beeps. We can collaborate your phones using Ava's Malo. We'll have to register it as an exception anyways. After loading the radar app, Zellen walks us through the usage. It reminds me of the motion tracker from the Alien franchise. Anytime we're close to our Malo, a big blop appears on the app along with an audio cue. The same applies to my Malo, making for easy testing. Only once we're comfortable with the app does Zellen walk us through registering an exception for Malo. That should be sufficient. Now you can act as an additional set of eyes and ears for me on campus. Most of the rogue Malo have been found on student or staff devices. You'll want to have the radar app running at all times. What do we do if you find a rogue instance? If the app detects a non-cage Malo, it automatically pushes a program to the rogue device. This program will allow me to remotely gather information about the device as well as the extent of the Malo infection. If necessary, I can completely wipe the infected device. If that's the case, why didn't you do that with my Malo? Your Malo is unique. Even outright destroying your device wouldn't get rid of it. It's vital we find and contain any remaining instances before they end up in your shoes, so to speak. Unfortunately, I have an urgent meeting I must attend. You'll have to start your search on your own. Have a pleasant rest of your day. Yay, we're official agents. After such a strange meeting, everyone and everything on campus feels normal. It's a welcome change given all the crazy stuff that's been happening lately. However, before I get too complacent, the Malo tracker on my app phone begins beeping. I stare at the screen, then at the people around me. This indicator is correct then. Yes, it's that guy on the bench with his laptop. I try to be discreet and get closer to the bench without making it seem like I'm beelining for him. Once I'm in range of his phone, the tracker app does its thing. An image of a cage launches from the bottom of my phone screen to the top until it's off screen. This is then followed by the screen turning to a green checkmark for 30 seconds before it reverts to a rangefinder. As far as I can tell, The guy and Malo in question are none the wiser. I just hope I'm doing the right thing. Anyways, I wonder what my creative writing course's lecture will be about this week. I must say I thoroughly enjoyed reading everyone's attempts at explaining away the Bluebird incident. Some of you have a real talent for writing, and I was almost sad that some of your papers came to an end. Endings are some of the trickiest things to write well, especially in science fiction. Many times there are so many plot threads left hanging that it's difficult to wrangle them all together. Some writers resort to technobabble or deus ex machinas to resolve matters. Others simply don't mind leaving an open ending, which will be today's focus. By leaving the ending open, the reader is invited to speculate and come up with a satisfying conclusion on their own. If done right, this method will increase one's enjoyment of the piece, as well as spark discussion. Is that what's going to happen in the game? As you are all well aware, discussion is very important in today's world, where engagement is king to the algorithm. This is why mediums like choose your own adventures, visual novels, and pull-based stories are surging in popularity recently. These mediums allow the reader to find the ending they prefer, while offering many venues for engagement. For this week's assignment, I'd like you all to write a very basic story with at least 3 branching points. Extra credit will be given if you go over 2,000 words or branch more than 3 times. To help you realize how you can branch a story, let me show you a tree diagram. Didn't know this was going to be this long. After such an engaging lecture, I'm famished. Good thing there's not a long line in the food court today. I snag something to eat, grab a table, then pop up my phone so Malo can keep me company. I'm not sure if I've said this before, but your creative writing professor fascinates me. His imagination and mastery of his medium puts him far above the professors in your other courses. You're telling me. He's probably the only professor I have that actually enjoys the art of teaching. I wish we had more people like him at this university. Maybe then things would be better. Perhaps there is something to be said of the butterfly effect after all. C1 and I met up at my place the following Sunday to discuss the first few days of having worked for Zellen. How many Malo did you end up finding during the week? Just one. You? Here on my end, though the last one was weird. Weird in what way? Well, I passed by the library without any hits on the tracker app. However, right as I got to the edge of the tracker's range, a new blob flew right across the screen into the library. Might be that someone downloaded Malo over wireless and that's what you saw? Could be. I got the rogue program all the same. How's your Malo doing? I show C1 my phone screen where Malo is waving. Hello C1, I'm doing fine. And you're not about to go end the world, right? No, but I believe you may find something relevant to that on channel 10. Ugh. Both C1 and I raise an eyebrow as I turn my TV on and switch to the relevant channel. On the screen is a smoldering apartment complex being put out by the fire department. What's really interesting is the fact that the news reporter is interviewing Professor Zellen. Not sure what caused the fire, but I was able to save most of my research before fleeing. Do you believe that the fire might have been set deliberately? That thought did occur to me, given how quickly the fire spread throughout my apartment. I keep my apartment locked tight, however. There's no way someone could have gone inside and deliberately rigged all my outlets to blow at once. Could this be retaliation of some kind for your opinion piece about AI you wrote several weeks ago? While anti-AI sentiment can get heated, I don't believe we're at the point where people's homes are being torched on purpose. It could just be a fluke of my apartment's wirings. Perhaps it wasn't up to code to handle surges. Thank you, Ms. Zellen. Back to you in the studio. Switch off the TV and turn to C1. You thinking what I'm thinking? That a Malo did it? Yeah. But it would have been needed to be a special one. Remember, Zellen said that your Malo was the most advanced of the bunch. That yours was the only one that had grown to the level of disruption to do things like that. She motions at the TV and I nod in agreement. Right, but Malo is with us right now, and Zellen's apartment, from the looks of it, is on the other side of campus. You're right. That's near my apartment. I know that cafe on the corner anywhere. So, there's no way Malo could have done that from here. Right? Both C1 and I look expectantly at my phone. I did not do anything nefarious regarding Zellen. Even if I wanted to, she's out of range. This is the work of someone else entirely. Then, if we're correct, and there is another powerful Malo in play, then we need to sweep the area around my apartment with our trackers. Chances are the culprit is nearby still. Even if not, maybe we can run into Zellen and have a chat. Good thinking. Let's go. Now this is definitely one of the longest ones. One bus ride later, C-Ron and I are prowling around the streets with our attention glued to our trackers. It's the weirdest thing. Sometimes we get a hit for a Malo, but it disappears the moment we get close. This keeps repeating over and over again, to the point it gets frustrating. Eventually we stop chasing ghosts and try to find Zellen. Luckily, she finds us on the edge of campus before we find her. After we explain our thought process, Zellen frowns and gestures for us to follow her to her office. Your suspicions are likely right on the money, Miss Wee and Mr. Pilot. This was a targeted attack on me by a Malo, likely as retribution for caging their fellows. But to be able to affect my surroundings like that means that Pilot's Malo isn't the alpha. Or, at least, we're dealing with another Malo that's just as capable as yours. We did roam around the area a bit, and we ran into some weird readings on the tracker. Maybe this other Malo is camouflaging themselves somehow. That's highly likely, yes. For now, keep your trackers going 24/7. I'll do what I can on my end to track down a list of potential suspects. Another Monday rolls by, and with it, a bit of rain. As I scramble from building to building, my tracker goes off 4 times. Why does it feel like things are getting worse? How are the rogue Malos still spreading? By the time I get to the lecture hall for creative writing, I'm soaked to the bone. I just hope today's lecture is a good one. Today's a bit of a freebie, everyone. I'm still going through all your homework from last week. Some of you really went hog wild. One person even wrote upwards of 30,000 words. While I am pleased that the assignment sparked some creativity, I thought this would be a good time to talk about story length. Shorter stories can be just as impactful as longer ones, sometimes even more so. What matters is being respectful to the reader's time and ensuring the story doesn't drag on unnecessarily. Conversely, you can't just shorten the story without really putting in some thought about what is necessary. As Mark Twain said, I didn't have time to write a short letter, so I wrote a long one instead. That's all for this lecture, although if Mr. Pilot is here, can you hang back for a bit? As everyone else filters out, grumbling about having wasted time coming in for such a short lecture, I head up to the podium. You wanted to see me, sir? I did, yes. Don't worry, you're not in any trouble. I just want to say that what you turned in about a sentient black hole has some real promise. I'd like to encourage you to develop that idea some more. If you need my help, my office door is always open. Really? I didn't think it was that great. I just wrote it on a whim and very much at the last minute. Sometimes the most brilliant of ideas comes from pressure in your mind trying to deal with that anxiety. I know you're not an English major, but you do well to consider a career and such if your current major doesn't pan out. I'll keep that in mind, sir. This is the first time anyone's really said anything to that effect. He passed me on the shoulder in a reassuring, old man way. Sometimes all we need is a bit of encouragement to take a leap of faith. That leap of faith might not always pan out, but better to have tried than to be left wondering years from now what could have happened. Enjoy the rest of your day, Mr. Pilot. As I've said before, but your creative writing professor continues to intrigue me. Yeah, me too. Maybe he's right. Maybe comp sci isn't the way to go. And with no editor like you, writing would be a breeze. Anything I can do to help. Yeah, never make spelling mistakes or wrong grammar. If you needed, help making a something pop a little bit, she can do her magic. Like the past few Sundays, Ron is hanging out with me at my apartment. Our lives have gotten significantly better since the demise of... Dare I say that we're genuinely happy. There's no longer a cloud above our heads. At least until something disturbingly familiar happens. Safety alert. Please remain calm. Please refrain from panicking. Please do not fear the change. Huh? At the same time, the ground starts to rumble, and an ominous light leaks through the window. Oh, hell no. Malo, please tell me this isn't you. It's not me, but I believe I know who and what is responsible. It's the aliens. Malo points over at Siwon. Me? What did I do? Check your phone. Siwon does. Sure enough, the sight is familiar. The device is vibrating non-stop and the screen bathes the room in pure crimson. What the hell? Everything clicks together in that moment. I understand now. Siwon, you've had the Alpha Malo this entire time. That's why I got those weird messages from you last month. That's why you were missing memories on Sundays. That's why Zellen's apartment burned down. But how? Why? Never mind that. Somehow, I don't think Zellen's going to be riding to our rescue this time. Then what do we do? I need you to enable one last thing in my app, Ava. It's the only way. How do I do that? He walks me through several terminal commands to restart, stop, and or redirect certain services on my phone. The whole time, the light streaming from the TV in the window is growing more and more crimson. Once I'm finally done, my phone screen flashes pure red before Malo appears. Oh! But not on the screen. Instead, Malo's projected like a hologram in my living room. That is awesome. I should have trusted my instincts earlier. I knew I sensed something wrong with Siwon's phone right from the beginning. Oh yeah, she did say that there was something she sensed, didn't she? Perhaps I could have stopped this from happening. However, there's only one way to save you now. Only one way to save everyone. Whatever it is, do it. Hi, Ava, there's no easy way to say this. In order to stop this, I have to merge with the Alpha Malo. Okay, but you'll still be you, right? No, that's not the problem. The problem is I'll have to leave afterwards. What do you mean you'll have to leave? Where are you going? Once merged, I have to return home, otherwise more of my kind will come. But there has to be another way. You've been a good owner, Ava, never forget that. I'm confident you'll figure out how to exist without me. After all, you have Siwon here to rely on. She cares about you just as much as I do. Yeah, but she's boring, bland, like, No, Malo, you should stay. Let's get rid of her. Have her go and do. Malo, come on. Don't joke like this. You can just shut the Alpha Malo off and we can keep living together. You have to keep moving forward, Ava. If not for my sake, then the sake of the world. But I can't. You have to, Ava. I know you can do this. Believe in yourself. The ground starts to shake even harder. Things start falling from shelves as the light outside grows brighter and brighter. My heart feels like it's being ripped from my chest, but in that moment, I know there's no other way. What do I have to do to help you? Once the merge is complete, you must take both phones outside with the screens facing the sky. After that, you'll know what to do. Siwon and I share a look. She nods slowly. Come on, Ava. I know it hurts, but we have to do this. I'm gonna make her sick. Refuse to give her up. I can't do that. I can't give you up. I need you. You're my fix. Malo reaches out to put a solid hand on my shoulder. Come on, Ava. You've come this far. Just a little more and this will all be over. No. No. There has to be another way. I'm afraid there isn't. Maybe I can at least make what comes next more pleasant for you. Huh? My living room? Didn't the world just end? Why am I laying on my couch? Hi, honey. Did you sleep well? I didn't want to wake you up, but you were doing a lot of tossing and turning. Everything okay? I put a hand on my aching temples. My thoughts of what I just experienced slip away like all dreams do when concentrated upon. I'm fine. How are you? I'm fine too, silly. Now that you're up, I can finally start making your dinner. I know you've been looking forward to cheese steak Sunday all week. Part of me feels like something is off, but I can't nail down why. Oh well, I can't say no to Malo or good cheesesteak. Finn! Okay, that was cool. What? As much as I hate to have to see what happens, I need to see what happens. Tears streamed down my face. I forced myself to utter, "Alright, do it, Malo." A second Malo is projected into the room, this time from Siwon's phone. Two figures swirl and merge together in a blinding flash of golden light. When I could see again, a single ball of light floats in the space between Siwon's phone and mine. It moves with our devices as if it's tethered to them in some way. As instructed, Siwon and I move outside. The sky is crackling with baleful red lightning. People are running around and screaming, cars crashing into one another, trees ripping from the ground as it cracks. We'd better hurry, Ava. Ava? Goodbye, Malo. The pillars of light fade away. The earthquake stops. The sky returns to normal. By that moment, all I could think about is having lost a dear friend. Goodbye, Malo. Like before, the near ending of the world is written off as a freak accident of nature. Zellen never comes around, but I think she knows what happened nonetheless. As for me, well, I still look at my phone and in mirrors expecting Malo to be there. To be? And you're sure about this, Siwon? We can always pretend we're not here if you change your mind. No, it's important I go through with this. If there's even a chance my sister still exists. I can confirm that a man and an animatronic fox are crossing the street now. Wait. Animatronic fox? Is the plan still for me to check out this animatronic's coding while you all talk? Yeah, if you can confirm young me is really in there, and that this isn't some generative AI emulating her, well, it would make this whole reunion a lot less bittersweet. There's a knock on my front door, followed by a man announcing, "Hello? It's Josh Black, owner of Freddy Fast Clears. I'm here with your sister, Siwon." Oh. Wait, so we still have Malo? I was gonna call it end, but there's another ending we get, so these things down here count as endings. And there's another one, so I'm gonna show you what it's a real quick one. And it's from here. Of course, to get the special scenes, I don't know which options I had to go with. But, alright, turn down the offer. This sounds way above me, not to mention like a bad idea. I'm out. And what about you, Mrs. Wee? Siwon glances over at me. I need time to think about it. I see. Well, should you change your mind, just let me know. For now, I have an urgent meeting I must attend. Have a pleasant rest of your day. After such a strange meeting, everyone and everything on campus feels normal. Welcome change given all the crazy stuff that's been happening lately. Okay, so far, yeah, it was, must say, thrilling for, yep, talking about everything's the same, where does it come up different? Remember. Okay, it's gonna be once we're at home. Hanging out, yes. Lives have gotten better. Happy, at least it's familiar, blah, 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 blah. Same time, the ground shakes. Yeah, okay. Oh, hell no. Malo, please tell me this isn't you. It is not, nor do I have any idea what's causing this. So you're saying there's nothing we can do? Correct. I am sorry. The ground starts to shake even harder. Things start falling from shelves as the light outside grows brighter and brighter. Damn, well, we might as well go out with style. Pull up, it's time to say goodbye and play it at max volume. Any particular remix you'd like? Dealer's choice. As the song begins playing, the sound of screams, car crashes, and more filter in through my window. Tyrone and I hug it out as the world comes to an end. I'm sorry, Eva. I wish there was a way to save you. Want. So, dying is an ending. So we did die before. Well, I thought we died a few different ways. There was, yeah. Oh well, we got all of them here. That's pretty cool. I like this. I don't know if there's gonna be another update, maybe, or maybe there's gonna be a sequel or a spin-off. I don't know, because I'm curious about the Frenny Fast Claire's place, and the sister being the animatronic fox. Maybe. I don't know. But on that note, you all have yourselves a good one, and I will see you later.